Welcome to another presentation of the theory of enhancement, and today we'll be talking about nuclear enhancement. The process of nuclear enhancement can be a bit tricky if I want to present without showing the calculations. However, I propose that you visit this link, the first link, to get the published paper of the theory of enhancement so that you can see for yourself the accountability of the process. And the other link below shows the nuclear enhancement table, where you can see how the enhancement progresses. So today in this presentation we'll be talking more about the structures, how they look like, how when a nucleus is enhanced, how it actually looks like. So we have spoken about the decay of mass, giving us the first, the second, and the third wave of dark matter, as well as the first and second wave of anti-dark matter on the opposite side. So today we are progressing from the first level where the nucleus is formed, and here N will be representing the nucleus. But we know that in the particle side we have the neutron and the proton, and on the antiparticle side we have the antineutron and the antiproton. So the process of nuclear enhancement is driven by particle decay, and what the nucleus does here, it goes through a process of beta minus decay, and we get the results of level 2. On the second level, excuse me, we get the formed electron around the nucleus. This electron is hard at work to protect and balance the nucleus. It is therefore also going through a process of beta plus decay, contributing and enhancing the nucleus. The same process is going on the other side, where the nucleus has given off through the process of beta minus to form a positron. And now the positron here is hard at work to protect the nucleus of this antiparticle and enhancing this nucleus. So this is the first level of nuclear enhancement, and it is therefore the first level where we have witnessed motion, which is fulfilled by the first law of motion. And then we continue to the third level. Now, as a result of the second level, we continue to the third level, where we find that we are going to fulfill the second law of motion and the supportive law of motion. We start from the outcomes of the second level. Because of the beta minus from a single nuclei to the beta plus, we end up with 2 nuclei. So now we start from a point of 2 nuclei going through the process of beta minus decay and beta plus decay. And this now will result in a supportive structure on the other side that will begin from here. So the outcome of this structure will now lead to the formation of the next structure, which the outcome will be 4 nuclei going through the process of beta minus and 4 nuclei going through the process of beta plus. Let's look at the structures. So this is the structure. As I've said, now you can see this structure ends up with a core enhanced nuclei of 4, and that's why the next one begins there. And the next one now achieves a level of 8 nuclei enhanced. So this is how the process of enhancement continues, and this fulfills the second law of motion, and that fulfills the supportive law of motion, balancing this structure. So if we continue to look at it from even the table of nuclear enhancement, we have taken just the snippet here you can see how it was all structured, but I've mentioned earlier that can be a bit challenging not to show the entire calculation. So I'm just showing how the flow continues through the process of particle decay. Now let's go to look at the antiparticle side. The antiparticle side, as we come from the second level of antiparticle enhancement, we find that it is still going through the process of beta minus and beta plus, and it is trying to balance itself. So from its own balance, now we are going to achieve a point where it is growing to get to a point of 2 nuclei. So the structure that is being achieved here through this nucleus given out and has received, it gives us the entire structure that supports this one. So this is the second law of motion going here through the process of particle decay, and this is the supportive law of motion through the process of particle decay. I'll continue to say that it's not really easy to justify what I'm showing here through the process of particle decay only, but in the paper there's proper mathematics that accounts for the entire work of nuclear enhancement. So now if you go to the table of nuclear enhancement, you can find how the entire structure, before we can even write it, how did we get to this point. So we get to this level through mathematics, and then we align it, and then we draw the structure. So we are going to go now to the fourth level of nuclear enhancement. The fourth level of nuclear enhancement will begin from the previous level as a result of how much the nucleus was enhanced. So on the particle, on this side, we had the nucleus enhanced to 4. And on the supportive side, it was enhanced to the core of 8. Let's see now how the structures pan out. If you take a structure that was enhanced to 4, you get 8. We have seen that because this structure was previously supporting the lesser structure, and now it is supported by a higher structure that has moved from this core of 8N to the core of 16N. So this structure is now balanced by that structure, and this is the third law of motion being fulfilled at this level. And it is now clear that even though we are talking of two equal opposing force, it is now required to balance according to the supportive law of motion so that this can stay in place. So the accountability of all of what I'm talking about is there in the paper. And we can also look at how it is presented in the nuclear enhancement table. So this work has now reached the balanced level of the solar system. When we go to the antiparticle side, we find that it is now continuing to enhance, and we are going to have a core that is being supported by another core on the side. As I'm explaining, previously the nucleus has gone through the process of beta minus and beta plus to give us the structure that we see here. And this structure is now being supported by the upper structure from the core of itself, and we achieve a structure that is supporting this structure, and this is fulfilling the third law of motion. So what happens then after we have achieved balance in the enhancement of nucleus? When we have achieved the balance, you will see as we continue, after looking at how it is presented in the nuclear enhancement table, we continue to see, as we continue on level 5, we continue with the balanced nuclei from level 4. And we have already said that this nucleus is creating its own environment and it is balanced. And now we can see that we are achieving the universal law of gravitation. This is happening on the particle side, and it is also happening on the antiparticle side. As you can see, the structures from level 4 have created their environment and have achieved balance and now fulfilling the universal law of gravitation. This will stay true for as long as on the particle side the structure of the enhanced nuclei does not experience the effects of the second wave of dark matter. And here the structure of the enhanced environment does not experience the first wave of dark matter, because when that starts to happen, the structure will need to enhance so that it can stand this second wave of dark matter, and here it will enhance so that it can stand the first wave of dark matter. This is why the entire presentation was about the enhancement of the solar system, because the solar system balances itself, and then as it balances the third wave of dark matter, and the galactic system will balance itself as it balances the second wave of dark matter, and the universal system will balance itself as it balances the first wave of dark matter, and therefore it can live or exist side by side with the mass that it comes from. So now the core, as the core is enhanced, we can consider it, let's just say it is new light coming up. We can see the old light drifting away. We have started with this from level 1, the nuclei that is now becoming smaller and smaller, like fading away, but we have new light that's coming on and it's becoming bigger and brighter. So I'm just putting that out as an example, and also to understand that this is actually the basis of universal enhancement. And till we meet again in the next presentation. In the next presentation, we'll be talking about the enhancement at the galactic level. So I hope you download the paper and look at the process of enhancement intensely, so that you can ask questions and we can discuss the process and the phenomenon and the expansion of the universe. Thank you.